Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. It's Kickstart. It's 10:01 on a Monday morning, and I have a special guest in studio. I have Kathy with ACU of Texas in studio. Kathy, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Happy birthday. It's your birthday.
Yes, thank you.
And there's nowhere else you'd probably rather be than right here in the KHEA Radio studio, right?
This was actually my dream, so thank you for making it come true.
It's a birthday wish come true.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm glad you're here. Thank you for making time.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me, really.
So I know there's an event taking place this weekend on Saturday. What's going on?
We actually are excited to be bringing back our farmers market. It's Texas Gourmet Market that we had pretty much all of last year, and then COVID happened, and we had to shut it down. We tried to bring it back, but now we're pretty confident that things have settled enough that we're able to bring back all of the great things that come with a farmer's market, fresh products, produce, some good food. So, yes, we're excited. We're going to have that on Saturday from 9 to 1 at our League City corporate office, which is at 1095 West League City Parkway.
And people can support local farmers and meet these individuals who are growing food. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yes, it's a great opportunity to go straight to the source and be able to connect with local small business owners. So we all know that everyone has taken a hit because of COVID. So it's nice to be able to give the opportunity for these local entrepreneurs to come out and be supported.
Whenever you go to a farmer's market, what are you looking for? Is there something that you're instantly drawn towards?
I'm just looking for unique, fresh foods because we get so many foods in the grocery stores and things that have so many preservatives, and I like the freshness. I like feeding my family good food, so I always get enough to make like one meal at least for my family. And sometimes it's like Pain Train salsa, getting their salsa and then mixing it with the Indian food, and maybe getting some fresh shrimp. So there's all sorts of things out there to be able to do that and then compile it all and put it together for a meal for my family means a lot.
The most interesting thing about farmers market, when you actually see fresh produce that doesn't have like the extra stuff sometimes at grocery stores, it's like, this looks totally different than what I'm used to. And then you taste it, it's like, this tastes totally different. This is what it's supposed to taste like. Oh,
yes. Funny. Like if you have never tasted a like true homegrown tomato, come out and see Clear Creek Farms because they have like tomatoes taste totally different. And I used to like growing up, I was like, people would talk about like how our grandparents would just go out and pick fresh tomatoes and eat them. And I was like, how can you eat that like that? And it's they weird. Taste totally different. So that's probably one of my favorite. And my husband loves carrots. So anytime they have carrots out there, he's like, get some because they're so good. They're so much different from what you get in the store. And yeah, makes a big difference.
Speaking of carrots, I saw something the other day, and I think of carrots, I think of Bugs Bunny chomping on a carrot. Call me crazy, but right. I saw a random fact that said that rabbits and bunnies actually don't eat carrots, that it's not good for them, that back in the day, like in, I guess, the 50s, whenever Bugs Bunny came out in those cartoons, that was a play on some famous actor who would do something like that. So everybody understood it at the time, but now, me being born when I was, it's not like, oh, yeah, rabbits eat carrots. Apparently they don't. Maybe if they were like organic, fresh from the market on Saturday, but
that is a fact that I did not know, and I usually know random facts. So I'm so glad to.
You're welcome. It's a birthday fact. It's a birthday fact.
I'll take it.
Yeah. So I've been seeing some of these live streams that ACU of Texas has been putting out, and they have you featured with local law enforcement. What's the idea? What's going on with that?
So every year, since even before I worked for ACU, we have special hero accounts. So honoring our first responders, our veterans, that's very important at ACU of Texas. So we always have them come in because National Coffee with a Cop Day usually takes place on the first Thursday in October. And this year, we kind of got an email from National Coffee with a Cop saying like, hey, be careful. Like it's not necessarily happening this year. And we were like, we don't want that to go away. And so we came up with still celebrating in October, honoring all of those people who serve our communities, but also giving them their own platform to be able to shed a positive light on everything they do for our community.
How many has there been now? I've seen several.
So we did 4. We just took so we have 15 locations. We go from Brenham to here in Lamarck, and then all the way over to Deer Park, Pasadena. And so basically what we did was we took those regions and gave the opportunity for those departments and the ones that could spare the time. It is an hour, so it's hard for our law enforcement to get away. So a lot of it was some of the bigger departments that were able to spare some officers to be able to talk about their community, the issues they're facing, how they're handling the national pandemic and everything that goes with it.
It's important, to have that transparency and just be able to talk about everything that's going on. I feel. So here's a comment. This is from Hank Doogie, League City Councilman Hank Doogie, who was just in studio talking about the League City Regional Chamber membership drive. Go Team Blue. We're both wearing blue. I feel like that's coordinated. Hank was too. So hit me up if you want to join the League City Chamber, and we can make that happen. But he said, happy birthday, Kathy.
Ah, thanks, and happy belated birthday to him.
Happy birthday. So it's just a big birthday party and a lot of fun taking place today.
Where are balloons? Come on, Hank. We should be saying what did Artie did not even decorate for us.
Where are the cupcakes? Where are the from the local bakeries and everything?
Of course.
So
they're coming in, right? Right after we get off the air.
They're flying in. So like Cupcake Cache. Have you ever had Cupcake Cache off of Marina Bay Drive?
I have not.
They're over by where Sloppy Nick's used to be, but I think Sloppy Nick's, I'm not sure if it's open yet, but there was like a Greek place going in right there. But there's a Lou's Barbershop.
Okay, I know where that is.
Yeah, right next to that is Cupcake Cache. They have a bunch of really good
cool.
stuff. So
I'll have to check it out.
I have to check and see if they're a member of the chamber. They may be a good option.
Yeah, for sure.
For that, a good relationship. So right now it's 10:08. This is KHEARadio.com, 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. My name's Gardy. I'm hanging out with Kathy, where we're talking about ACU of Texas and everything that's going on here in the community. So if somebody, maybe they have a bank account, they need another one, they're looking to join a financial institution, what do you guys offer?
We offer everything. We are all of your services under one roof. We can handle pretty much anything that's financially related. We start with the kids, giving them a savings account. But what's unique about our children's savings account is that we offer them 3% interest on their savings on up to $1,000. So no, mom and dad, you can't put all your money in there and earn interest. But I always like to say that I like to tell the kids that if they had a regular, completely true now, they earn more than I do as far as on a savings account. And then
how old is that child? I'm 34, so but I consider myself young at heart.
I thought I was going young. I was like, as soon as my kids got a social security number, I started their account.
So a baby to 34?
A baby to 22.
To 22?
To 22.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and we're going to do things as they get older. They'll get a checking account, and then they'll be able to. We do specials for their first loan to be able to help them get the car loan and not, hopefully not make mistakes and be able to get a good, reputable credit built.
Yeah. Speaking of good, reputable credit, I remember when I turned 18 years old and getting all these, I don't know how they know, there's somebody sells your information somewhere. It's like, hey, it's your birthday,
for sure.
18, here's a credit card. It's a $200 limit. So as a kid, I'll call it, 18, it's like $200. Oh yeah. And then, you get another one. It's like $500. And then it's just, there's not a lot of, at least back then, there wasn't a lot of, I guess, information other than my parents, which I'm thankful for them kind of telling me you don't want to get all those credit cards. You don't want to do that. But I have friends who did.
So that's definitely something that we do throughout people's life is we teach financial classes to be able to be smart with your money. So we have a class for kids that's called Star Academy. This year I was able to bring it to the kids virtually, which was really neat. So they were able to log in for 4 classes and learn about how to save, where does money go. Parents try to instill it in their kids all the time, this costs money, but until they really see. So they actually had to do a budget and know oh, our house costs that much, and this is our career. So they picked a career. It's really neat. It's neat to see the kids kind of really discover it. And I'm always amazed that even though some of these kids are going into third grade, they're like, whoa, like I didn't even realize that. Or they're really, really smart. And I'm like, I think the parents need to listen in on them making these decisions, because it will be like, they're like, no, we can't get cable because it costs too much. Like all of a sudden they realize like
cable does cost too much. To be fair, it does.
And I make the prices like as real as possible. I mean, some of them are like
Yeah.
I probably don't charge as much for health insurance as you really, but I don't want them to not get health insurance.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, cable, you'd be realistic. It's like, well, for the first 6 months, it'll be $200. What a great deal. And then after that, we're just going to sneak it in and it's going to go up the exact same thing that you've been paying for, but it's going to be like $280.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's how it works. That's how promotions. But it gives them an opportunity. But then as you get older, we do work with Dave Ramsey's team and actually teach the Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University. I lost my words there for a second. And that's a great opportunity for people to go through and really look at their debt and find ways to get out of debt. And people are always surprised that we don't, that
As
we
a bank.
promote that as
Right.
a financial institution, but we really and truly care about our community, and we also care about our members. And so we want them to be financially successful. We don't want them to have to get a loan. We're there for them when they need it, but we don't want to put them in a situation that they can't handle. And so that's really important. But then we go up to our checking accounts. We have regular checking and savings accounts. The cool thing is we have no fees. So you're not going to be charged to have an account with us. And then we also have a Premier checking account, which is really cool because it is a fluctuating interest account. Currently the rates are at 2%, but basically you can earn interest on your checking account. And so that's a great opportunity for people to have their money work for them.
That's not normal, right?
Not normal.
Sounds good to me, yeah.
2% on a checking account up to $20,000. Like that's some good money in your account every.
So where are y'all's location? Is it just a Texas thing, ACU of Texas?
ACU of Texas is just in Texas. We're actually just in this region. We started out as Carbide and Union Carbide, and so Galveston County is a big area for us. We have Deer Park, Pasadena. I'm going to forget my Alvin, Santa Fe, Friendswood, Pearland. We have 3 locations in Pearland. We have 2 locations in League City. We're in the Dickinson, HEB, League City Dickinson.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
It's 646 right there?
Yep, 646.
On the west side? On the west side of I-45?
We established that I do not know directions. I am from Texas 100%. So sure, I'll go with that. Don't listen to me, because if it's wrong, you can't blame me. You blame Gardy.
Yes.
But yes, so we have all sorts of locations for you to go to. But the coolest thing that we launched, because we do, and I said it all week while we were doing the Coffee with a Cop, we like to be innovative. We like to make sure that we are meeting the needs of our members. And right now, the needs of our members is to take their local credit union with them. And so we have an app that's called V Banking. You can go to your Google store. You can go to your Android app store, and obviously the iOS Apple app, and type in V Banking. And it'll come up. It's the only one in there because it is such a unique product. But basically, you have your financial institution in your hand. It is literally the ability to go on and you can start a loan, you can do your mortgage process, you can get insurance rates. That's another thing that we carry is insurance that's unique to not very many credit unions have a insurance agency within them. And the difference is that we're really trying to get the best product. So the way our insurance agents don't necessarily work on commission base, so they really truly try to put the best product in there. And my favorite story from that is that I actually had my mom's quoted, and she had a better rate, and they were like, hey, like, just stay with your one. And most people would try to convince you that something's better, but they're not. They're really trying to meet the needs of our members. Then we also have a real estate company. So if you need to buy or sell a home, Keystone Realty is there for you. So pretty much anything that you want, we can offer you.
V-banking is pretty cool. I haven't seen that from another bank.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Is that seems like it's pretty innovative. I mean, do you all know of any other institutions that are doing that? Because I haven't seen it.
There are some other institutions, not necessarily in our area, but V-banking is super awesome. It's high quality. Yeah.
And if you're watching on Facebook, then you'll be able to see this. If you're listening on 99.5 FM, you're going to have to go like KHEA Radio on Facebook to check this out. But I am going to hold this up to the camera so you can see. I had the opportunity to see somebody using V-banking, and here's Jacob, and is his name Juan?
Yes.
And Juan making some V-banking transactions happen where I screen recorded it because I was like, this is really cool, and I want to be able to see this, but I may have to open an account.
Do you have like the ability to do would they be able to hear it if you did a demo call right now?
Maybe. Here's what we'll do. We'll take a break on the FM, and then we'll do some research and see what we can make happen. How about that?
That sounds great.
This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. All right. We're still live on Facebook. I have to make... Okay, that's good. Because you can actually, even if you don't have an ACU of Texas account yet, you can do a demo call to check it out.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It would be really cool to do a demo call.
How easy is it to open an account?
Super easy. It's going to take you... I don't want to
give an exact
the times, but I feel like, and as little as, if you have 20 minutes and you're sitting on your couch, just get on V-banking and just say you want to open up a new account. Obviously today we're going to say I want to try a V-banking demo call, and it'll actually allow you to check out the service.
Should I do English or Spanish?
I'm a little better in English, but I had some officers talking to me in Spanish, and I was translating. I was doing it the other day, but let's not test my skills.
Let's see. We're gonna get a call going. We're first in line, and then we're gonna buy a house. I'm just kidding, Kathy. Hey, this is Kathy.
I'd like to buy
another.
Look,
the music. So y'all can just. This is actually really. Is this you?
Yeah. It's actually what I do.
Okay, so we're connected. That was really quick. Let's see.
Is the internet good here?
Well, the internet's great here.
Okay.
Hi, how you doing? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Is that Celeste? I hear a voice.
Is this Celeste?
It's Daniela.
Oh, Daniela, sorry.
Daniela, so we're on KHEA Radio. I'm with Kathy.
Hi, you're on the radio.
And so we just wanted to see a demo of how V-banking works. And I'm trying to get the right camera shot. Actually, here, hold it that way. And then we can hold it up to your camera. So, Daniela,
Am I holding it up right?
Yeah, that's good. Daniela, how long have you been working at ACU of Texas?
About a year and a half already.
And how have you, I guess, taken this transition of the V-banking life? Is it going good?
It's going great. It was a little awkward at first, like the transition, because, the members are face-to-face still, but not really.
Yeah.
But, I mean, after taking so many calls, it really just becomes habit. And so it's pretty easy. I mean, they are face-to-face. Not a lot changes, really.
What kind of things can somebody do over this app with V-banking? What are some things that they can get done?
We do new accounts, lending, mortgage, insurance, account maintenance. A lot of people come to us with problems on their debit cards or their online banking, things like that. Really, they can do anything but get cash.
And if I did want to get cash, how can I get cash? Go to work?
You can go to any of our locations, or you can go to the nearest ATM.
So ATM, or actually go through the drive-through. And then you can get some cash out of your account. So pretty much anything.
That's probably the easiest.
What's that?
That's probably the easiest way, yeah.
Cool. So have y'all seen that people are starting to catch on to the V-banking trend more, or are they still getting the word out?
Oh, yeah, no, it's definitely gotten busier and busier as time goes by. When I first started working here around August, it was, we were mainly getting, new account calls, but now now it's October. We're getting tons of member service calls. So people are realizing that they can take care of their tiny little issues from the comfort of their own homes. And so we're getting a lot more calls from members.
How was it for you starting a new job in the middle of 2020, smack dab in the middle? How was that?
It was weird at first. There was just so much going on, so much change, but it was a good thing. I mean, I'm very blessed to have been offered this position in the middle of a pandemic. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people lost their jobs, but I was very blessed to be offered this opportunity.
I was going to say it has to be a good sign for ACU of Texas to show, hey, we're hiring at this time, trying to find the right people and expanding our V-banking department. So that was pretty cool.
Definitely.
So what do you think about Kathy? She's pretty cool too, huh?
She's awesome.
No
Yes.
pressure.
She's my short friend.
It's her birthday today. Do you think does ACU do like any special interest for birthday loans?
He tried to get me to buy a house. Like he said he was going to make me buy a house today. I was like, I already have one.
A birthday house. Get us a second one. I don't know. Just messing. But thank you so much, Daniela, right?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Thanks, Daniela. Sorry. Thanks for letting me put
Sorry.
you on the spot.
That's okay.
Bye.
Bye. So that works really easy.
Yeah. Really easy, really quick. It's just an amazing opportunity for people to really have no reason to walk into the branches if they don't feel comfortable. We still welcome people. We are welcoming people into our branches right now. So.
Yeah. I'll say this. That was very quick, and I've sometimes sat on the line like holding at different banks where it's like forever. Like it takes forever to get in, and then I'm still trying to explain. I have to answer the question like, yeah, this is who I am. At least this way, I feel like they would be able to pull up your account, see a picture, answer some verified questions, and make sure no one's wearing a mask, a Guardy mask, and then I can make the changes that I need to, and it's easy.
And it's all safe and secure. They can accept your documents right through your phone. So even if you needed to submit documents, you'd be able to do that.
I think they said you can sign with your finger.
Yeah, so we do. Yeah, we use the ability to sign electronically. So
That's cool.
yeah, it's an amazing service.
I love it. So we got 20 seconds, and then we can go back on the FM here and keep talking. So it's 1024. It's KHEA Radio, hanging out on Facebook, social media. So we stream on YouTube, stream on Periscope and Facebook, and then we're on our FM as well. So here we go.
You're not alone.
Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. It is 1024 on a Monday. That is Kathy's birthday with ACU of Texas. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning. Thanks
Happy
for
birthday.
the birthday wishes.
You having a good birthday so far?
So far, I'm so thankful that so many people have reached out, like either texting or, putting it on Facebook. Just even taking those few minutes out of the day, it makes me feel really blessed.
Are you the kind of person, whenever you get Facebook happy birthday messages and comments, do you go back and respond to everyone or try and like or?
So every year I start the day off and I'm like, okay,
It's overwhelming.
you're going to get a few, so you
Yeah.
should not respond to them. And then my heart's like, but they took time.
I'm taking
to
time right
say,
now.
"Happy birthday to
B-Day
me."
on Kathy's Facebook wall, and I'm going to put
And so it makes
balloons.
me feel really, really blessed. And so I do like to take the time to individually thank everyone if possible. So I will go back and make sure I comment on that. Thank you so much.
So even if you follow ACU of Texas on social media, just go to their Facebook wall, ACUs, and just be like, happy birthday, Kathy.
Oh,
Thank you for all that you do. So I left a comment on your Facebook there. But so, yeah, I try and go back and comment to everybody because they did take time. That's the way I see it too. Like, even it took like 10 seconds.
Yes.
But
and
still.
also like, but it takes probably less than that for me to respond because my predictive text has been saying thank you all morning.
thank you,
So
thank
it's just, clicking thank you. But letting that person know that I appreciated the message, that I read it. But yeah, every year I say, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do a blanket thank you the next morning. And every year I just start and then you can't stop because then it would be like, did she not like my
Was my happy birthday not good enough?
Yeah.
Right. So let's talk about you. Besides it being your birthday, how long have you been at ACU of Texas and like why was this a good fit for you?
So starting with how long I've been there, I celebrated 3 years on July 31st. And so I started in our marketing department. My title hasn't changed, just my job responsibilities have changed a little bit. I'm now under our business development department. That happened last year. And so I get to learn more about our business accounts and our loans that we offer. And I get to work with some of our community partners a little bit more, and working with all of our chambers. I did that as well. But then I also get to do all the events and all of the fun stuff. So ACU was the perfect fit, and I am truly in my dream job because it took like all of my worlds and combined them together. I started when I was really young working. I was 16 because that's, typically the time that people can get jobs, but I worked because I wanted to work. Like I had to beg my parents to get a job, and they were like, no, school's your job. And I'm like, please. And so I started at Smoothie King, and because it was a new location, the corporate office came down and trained, and you got this little training manual. That doesn't usually happen when you work in like that type of environment, but because it was a new location and it was new to the area, they really wanted to make sure we knew what Smoothie King was. And so one of the first lines in the book was explaining what a franchise is and how local people owned it, but it was sold, and about the Kunos and how they started it and how it became. And it said, you too can own a Smoothie King one day. And I was like,
I want that.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Right.
And so I went home and I was like, Mom, I'm gonna own a Smoothie King one day. and so that was kind of neat. And I became a manager at 18. I got to go to New Orleans, learn all about everything behind it. And I always said, I was like, gonna own a Smoothie King one day. And I ended up leaving Smoothie King just to focus more on college at the time. And I started doing some part-time work at a wireless location and got really into the sales and really knowing how to speak to people on a sales level. And then I also did their inventory management, learned a little bit more of the business side. And then the Smoothie King that I worked at before got bought by somebody named Adrienne Chang, and her uncle had owned the shopping center. Her parents had the dry cleaners next door, so they all knew me, and they were like, you need to get Kathy to come back and help you like figure this out. She was there forever. And so I was like, okay, I'll go and I will help you open your Smoothie King, but you have to know that I'm going to start the process, and I'm going to start trying to get my own. And so I went and I helped Adrienne start her learn the ropes of Smoothie King as a previous manager, and managed her store. And then at the same time, I wrote out a business plan. I got a loan, not from a bank, but from my parents. So they were my financial backers and my partners. And I started looking for locations, and my family's from Corpus Christi. So I went to Corpus Christi and brought Smoothie King there. And so that happened in December 23rd, 2004. I opened up my Smoothie King, which was a dream come true. I was the youngest franchisee, and just an amazing experience. 4 years later, my dad had kind of gotten sick, and I also kind of knew that like when you're in a business, when your heart is like so into it, sometimes you have to recognize that you also want the business to grow. And you're probably holding back its potential if you are so, like I was stuck in so much of the operations. And I had the opportunity to sell it to an amazing business owner who had grown other things. And it's still open today. And I love that. I love going back and seeing it and seeing its success because it meant a lot. And so then came to Houston, back home, helped take care of my dad, went to the YMCA. And that's where I met ACU people. And so I worked for the Y for 9 years as a director. And I worked on something called the Tour de Braz, and ACU was the title sponsor. And they just did phenomenal things for that race. Like just seeing them be able to take a community event and put their whole heart into it. So they didn't just sponsor it financially. They were putting their everyday efforts, and the Y became a beneficiary of it. And so I worked on that for 5 years with them. And when I lost my job at the Y, a week later, I ran into our COO Jay Kopic, and told him kind of, oh yeah, I was just kind of having a bum day. My friend brought me out because I had just lost my job, and he was like, hey, just keep us in mind. And it turns out the girl in my position, like the next day, it was like total godsend. Like she's doing well and successful, but the girl who was in my position that I'd worked with, she turned in her notice because she had gotten a new opportunity, and they called me and said, would you be willing to apply? And about a month and a half later, I started working for ACU.
That's cool. So you had mentioned, ACU being the title sponsor, at an event. There wasn't, well, I guess it was not too long ago, but Independence Village, put on a virtual gala that was awesome.
Yes.
And, ACU was a big part of that, putting that on. I guess, why is it important for ACU and for organizations, financial institutions, just to give back to these nonprofits and just different organizations?
I really and truly think that, anytime that we are sponsoring events or being part of our community, we're doing our members correct, because we're obviously member owned. So when you join the credit union, you become one of my bosses, which is really cool. And so being able to say that we are putting their contributions to work and being able to give back to the communities we serve local is extremely important to us, and making sure that we're partnering with true local organizations and just showing our community that we are here to support them in any way is so important. But like I said earlier, we don't just give financially, so we like to be involved every step of the way to make sure that we put our money where our hearts are. And so we do try to make sure we're partnering with organizations. We have so many cool things that go on. One of the things that I love is we have a serve group that was started by our COO, Jay Kopic, and it is basically all of the veterans organizations in the area. It gives them a platform to share what they do and network with each other, so that if a veteran calls, and working the nonprofit side. And so that's kind of where I said, like, all of my worlds came together. Like, we have a nonprofit we actually have a community development center where we teach people how to buy housing and to make sure that they get into their first home. So doing all of that, that nonprofit part of my world got to come back from the Y. But what Serve does is they, like, so say you call a veterans organization and you need a service, but they don't provide it. Before, they would be like, well, you can try this and this, but I'm not sure. But now, since those people come together once a month and talk to each other, they get to know what grants they have going on. They get to know what services they provide. And so it keeps their organization, one, top of mind, but it also gives them the opportunity to share that news. So at the Y, we would have somebody call and be like, hey, I can't pay rent. Well, we didn't always necessarily know where to send them. So it's the same thing for the veterans organization. So that's a really cool thing. And then we do things like collect suits and clothing so our veterans can go back to work. And we work with different organizations for that. So
cool.
Kind of a neat thing we do.
Cool. So we're talking to Kathy with ACU of Texas, and we were learning about everything that they offer and do. But one thing I wanted to bring back up. So Smoothie King, I got two. Well, one's a comment, one's a question.
Okay.
And, here's another comment I did want to read. So you did get another happy birthday.
Oh,
and I want to make sure that I got that. This is from Irvin Rojas. Said, happy birthday.
Thank you, Irvin.
And then when we were talking about Smoothie King, they said, that sounds delicious, which I agree. First thing I wanted to say was I was watching TV the other day. Undercover Boss was on, and it was a Smoothie King episode. Did you see that one?
I have not seen it, but I want to. Was it Steve or was it the new CEO?
I don't know. I don't know what it is, because I missed that part. He was already like in costume and had like long hair and, undercover.
So just because there's definitely different looks to the old CEO and the new one. Steve Kuno, who was the founder, is a Caucasian man from Louisiana. And the new owner is from South Korea, so he would have been Korean. So that would have been.
That was him. It was the new guy.
Okay. Yeah. So there's definitely an obvious distinct.
We can narrow it down real quick. And that's what it was. But he was, asking questions. And I love watching those shows. And I'm always curious how they get these people to share. It's like, hey, I assume they're like training. It's like, well, actually, I'm 31 and my daughter, and I'm trying to be this. And I'm like, what kind of question? Because those are the questions I need to learn to ask. How do they prompt these people to share these stories? It's just interesting.
Sometimes I think it's also knowing the person you're speaking with. Like if you sent somebody to me, obviously you were like, how long have you worked for ACU? And I gave you like a 20-minute dissertation. Some people are just a little more open with their life than others. So, I think that has something to do with it.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, they're with them all day, I assume, and then they just show a snippet of that 8-hour shift or however long.
Now, the thing that's really been the kicker for me, though, is as much as I will share my entire life with somebody, they like invite them home now. Like I've seen several episodes lately, and I'm like, how did you go from this guy is training to dinner? I mean, like, I don't know. I have an open heart, too. So if somebody told me they didn't have a place to eat or something, I would have invited them, I guess.
Well, they're pitching, I assume because there's camera crews and all that. It's like, hey, it's a reality show. It's a training thing. Just be open. That's what I assume. Like, share the stories because we want to capture the stories of the people that work there as well is the only thing I can think of. And then, like, if you're willing to go and do an outing or something, that's the only thing I could think of. But it was really cool, because it was like 2 days ago. It was on TV or something. And you mentioned Smoothie King. The other thing I wanted to ask, what's your order? Like, was there something that you like to make? And then was there something it's like, well, this is what I like to drink or eat or whatever? Is there something?
I always liked coming up with new drinks. And so my favorite one, which it used to be like even for several, like probably at least a year after I left the Friendswood one to go open up the Corpus one. But then later on in the Corpus one, they would know if you asked for heaven in a cup, like that's what I called it. But it was a mixture of strawberries, raspberries. It had some protein in there.
That was when you created,
so
heaven in a cup.
Yeah, heaven in a cup. So
if you go to Friendswood,
well, not anymore. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably not anymore. But you can ask for strawberries, raspberries. And I don't know if it's the same anymore. So things changed a little bit since I left Smoothie King because the first franchisee from South Korea bought the franchise. And so he has made it a little more innovative. There's some things that the purist in me can't handle, like the plastic cups.
The changes.
But if the Slim and Trim powder is the same, which I think they changed it to the Gladiator powder, so I'm not sure if it'll taste exactly the same. But Slim and Trim powder, strawberries, raspberries, strain your strawberries, and add Splenda.
There were some of the new changes that you mentioned that they were talking about, and he was asking the employees, and they were saying like, well, this kind of messed us up here, and here because of this change. It came down and all this stuff. And so later they had the gentleman off camera. He's like, man, it's just really... It's interesting to hear how my change, just a decision I made really affected these people in a negative way, and he was kind of just like, man, it's almost like surreal type thing.
Yeah.
So it was interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely different, especially because, coming from Seoul, South Korea, and things are so different over there. They actually can't have one of my really good friends got to go over there and train the employees in Seoul whenever they opened up. He was at the corporate office at the time. He later became a franchisee. But Jeff went over there and he was saying, like, they can't use, like, you can't take a to-go cup unless it's truly to go. Like, if you sit in the restaurant, if you sit in, and it was like a 2-story building, beautiful, beautiful Smoothie King over in Seoul, South Korea. So if you're over there, check it out. But I'm assuming that's probably where some of the changes came from, like the plastic cups, because styrofoam, we obviously know is not as good for the environment. But for Steve, it was about keeping the drinks cold. So a lot of fun small facts. But
yeah, I like that they have the nutritional calories listed on there because it makes me at least think twice. Even places, I think of fast food places, you drive in and I always look at that and I'm like, oh, wow. That has 900 calories in just that one thing, and then I'm going to get fries and this. So I'm looking at a drink. I avoid drinking, water's what's best. I'm not drinking water right now, but I just say water's what's best because it has 0 calories. And if I'm going to hopefully
Yeah.
pizza later tonight. I don't want to drink, a
You don't wanna
500,
drink all
600,
your
900
calories.
calories.
Yeah.
Right. So I like that
But there's reasons why you would sometimes want more calories.
for
but
a meal or something.
just to touch a little bit on Smoothie King and relate it back to ACU of Texas, and really anything that I've done, is I want to say that really every single person on our executive team is super down to earth, and they really say we have, I guess a bottom down type of style of leadership. And so they're like, oh, we work for you. But they don't just say that. They actually live it. And I could never do Undercover Boss, either as Smoothie King with Steve or with ACU, because obviously we see our CEO all the time. But whenever I first went to Louisiana, the thing that impressed me the most and really solidified me wanting to have a Smoothie King, besides that one little part in the book, was we were at a conference that week and there wasn't enough chairs for everybody. And Steve, the founder and CEO of this huge corporation, was out there grabbing chairs. And that was just, as a young person, was very impressionable to me. And then for me going to work for ACU, part of the passion of that was doing the tour de bras. And one time, like, we had somebody that didn't show up to a rest stop, and Jack, our CEO, was like, where do you need me, Kathy? And he went over and drove like 15 miles away to run a rest stop because somebody didn't show up, and he wanted to make sure that stop was covered. So any job that I've worked for, it's been really, really, I've been blessed by having strong leaders, and I try to do that the same. I try to lead by example and not just necessarily expect people to do that.
I think you would never be able to be on Undercover Boss because if you as a 16-year-old are looking up and writing your business plan for owning a Smoothie King one day, any corporation you work for, anybody that you are going to be talking to, probably doing a little bit of research and say like, okay, so you would definitely recognize.
Oh, yes.
Somebody walks in and be like, I know you. Nice to meet you. I like your wig, and not even realize, that, oh man, I just missed out on like having my kids' college, paid for or whatever it is. Yeah.
It's okay.
So.
I'll tell him a sad story. I still have a sad life.
Wow. Okay, so it's 1043. It's KHEAradio.com, 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm talking to Kathy with ACU of Texas, where we're learning about everything going on. There's an event coming up, I think on Saturday. Can you share what it is one more time?
October 31st, we're going to have a great little setup that you can take your own pictures for of your kids in a fall setting. We're going to have some trick-or-treat treats for them. But while you're there, you're going to be able to shop local with our Texas Gourmet Market. And we do have even more than just your, we do have your produce. We have your fresh meats. We have all of those things going on, but we have other things as well. Some great woodwork, some wooden flags, everything that you can think of that you would want to come out and see is going to be there.
Sounds like it's going to be a good time.
It is.
And there's also a bunch of stuff that ACU of Texas offers, including V-Banking. Can you kind of run us through at least like that list of what people can expect if they open an account at ACU?
If you open up an account at ACU, we're going to make sure that we are there for you to meet any financial needs. We have education to be able to get a first-time homebuyers class. We have financial education if you're struggling with debt, education for your kids. We have savings accounts, checking accounts, money market accounts. We have LPL Financial that works with your investments. If you have a business, we're going to be able to do your, merchant services. Sorry, I forgot the word.
So y'all work with business accounts too?
Oh, yes. We work with business accounts. So small business owners, large companies, anybody that needs the services, we're able to provide those for you.
See, I did not know that because for a business that I had opened an account with a national like banking chain, I guess. And I was really disappointed in what they offered. But I have a credit union that I've had since I was real little. But I'm gonna have to open up an ACU account as well, and put some money in there.
Well, we definitely support the credit union movement. We're all friends, and we definitely enjoy having that opportunity to work together, especially in the community. We do encourage you to start a relationship with a credit union if you're not already with one, or if you need a second account, if you're looking at something like if you need a business account, being able to have that opportunity at your fingertips. And do you want like all the decisions for our stuff? And so we know you uniquely as a business. They're all made in-house. Or if you offer a service like roofing or AC or, foundation repair, anything that like with home services, we're going to also be able to take care of your client. So we're not only taking care of you as a business, but we're going to be able to make all those decisions, communicate with you to be able to get, so we do loans of all sorts. We do personal loans, residential service loans. We do mortgages, mortgage process. So easy. I was super scared of the mortgage process. I'm not going to lie, because it was like, they're going to say no.
Yeah.
And Casey in our mortgage department totally reassured me that everything was A-okay, and that we would be fine. But our mortgage department actually offices out of Lamarck here. And so she was like, I was like, I'm scared of underwriting. I heard that like it's really bad. And she was like, yours, A, like you're not complicated. You've never bought a house before. And B, like if there's an issue that we need to talk about for whatever reason that didn't come up in our initial conversations, she was like, he's, your underwriter's upstairs. So I'm literally going to walk upstairs and sit down at his desk. So it's not like weeks or months and some of the horror stories that you hear about underwriting, because everything we do right here.
In-house.
In-house.
Cool. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share this morning?
No, I think that's it. I think I covered probably too much.
We got a lot in. From savings to insurance, they also offer virtual banking from an app on your cell phone, V-Banking. We did a demo of that earlier. You can always go back and rewatch the Facebook stream or the YouTube stream. If you're listening on 99.5 FM, make sure you go like KHEA Radio on Facebook and then share this video out, and feel free to message me if you have any questions. Again, Kathy, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me this morning on your birthday.
Yes,
appreciate that.
Glad to be here.
It's KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. All right, Facebook, y'all be